host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the yearly predictions for the next year 2024 for all the rising signs. And before we will start our discussion, I wish all of you heartiest wishes and blessings of this upcoming new year. May all of your wishes come true. May you will find your purpose, and this year will bring you good wealth, health, and happiness in all areas of your life. So guys, before we will jump into the customized results for this upcoming new year, customized to your lagna, let's first try to understand how the vibe of this year collectively is going to be influencing all of us. So guys, if you remember, like at the time when I made a video for the year 2023, I mentioned this thing that from the numerology point of view, the universal year turned out to be of 7, which is a number of extremities because it is being ruled by the planet Ketu. And we all have seen that the war which took place, like Israel and this Hamas situation which we all are witnessing, so that generally tend to remain a theme in the universal year of 7. But guys, when we talk about the vibe of the 2024, the sum total of that will give you the universal year vibration of number 8, which is being governed by the planet Saturn. Second thing is that even in the transit next whole year, Saturn is going to be strengthened in the sign of Aquarius, its own Mool Trikona sign. And Saturn is going to be traveling in the majorly in the Sadbhisha Nakshatra and the Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra. Both of the nakshatra are somehow very much conducive and favorable for Saturn to manifest good results. And also guys, in one of the video, I also mentioned this thing that as per our lunar calendar calculations, this year is also the Samvatsar. It is carrying the energy of the Mars, as Mars is the ruler of this year. So definitely when we talk about the combined energy of the Mars and Saturn, so that definitely benefit all those people who are in the fields of engineering, construction, you are a builder or anything to do with the innovative work. So definitely this year will give you lot many opportunities. Apart from that, Jupiter is going to be transiting in the sign of Aries till the end of the April of 2024, and at the beginning of the May, it will transit to the sign of Taurus. So guys, one thing is for sure that because in the original Kalpurush Kundli, Aquarius is a sign of gains and Taurus is a sign of wealth. Now, as you can see that both of these two planets and these zodiac signs are going to be in a strengthened state because Saturn being in the Aquarius and Jupiter being in the Taurus. Second thing is that the transiting Ketu is now going to be getting aspected by the planet Jupiter. That in itself is a very good indication that in order for you to reap the reward of all those things which you have done, your soul has accumulated from the journey in the past so many lifetimes, this year can actually give you the results of that as well. And lastly guys, I always say this thing that whenever in the transit, if these two major planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are jointly influencing any sign, so the tendency to gain something very substantial connected with the attributes of that zodiac sign tend to remain very strong. So guys, during this year, once Jupiter will transit the sign of Taurus, Jupiter will aspect the sign of Scorpio, and Saturn is already giving its 10th aspect to the sign of Scorpio. So that in itself means that in whichsoever domain Scorpio energy is falling in your chart, you can actually achieve or accomplish something substantial pertaining to the domain of that zodiac sign and that house. So yes guys, after that now we will shift our discussion customized to that basis your ascendant, what this year is going to be bringing up for you. So guys, now after getting an idea about the overall planetary influence this year, now we will shift to the customized results for your rising sign. The approach which we will follow in order to get an idea about your yearly prediction is that we will try to look at attributes of all the houses of your natal chart, and we will try to figure out that how planets are going to be influencing you in the matters of that house. So guys, starting first with the attributes of the first house, which tells about your health, which tells about your conviction for the purpose which you have to follow, and your overall well-being and your public image. So the points which I have written over here is that year of growth, expansion and unraveling hidden talents. So guys, that actually makes sense because as you can see that during this year, Jupiter, which is a very important planet for you, it is your ninth house lord, the lord of your luck and fortune, is going to be transiting in your 11th house of wish fulfillment. And even basis, even if we have to take into consideration Saturn's transit in your 8th house and the axis of Rahu and Ketu, overall planets are indicating growth, expansion. And why I mention this thing, unraveling hidden talents, you will very soon get to know about that. After that guys, when we talk about the second house, which tells about your wealth, which tells about your values, your virtues, and your relationship with your immediate family environment. So during this year, the points which I have written is that financially it's a very good year with Jupiter in 11th house and second house receiving straight aspect from the planet Saturn. Chances of monetary gain from inheritance, past investments, and joint resources. So guys, understand this thing, wherever planet is going to be placed, it is going to be generating results from there. And just because Saturn is going to be looking at your 10th house with its aspect, second house with its aspect, so let's say for example, if in any capacity gains like monetary gains on the account of joint resources, inheritance is getting applicable in your case, so this year you will like stand a very strong chance for that. Along with that guys, I have also highlighted certain months as well, because definitely your second house is being ruled by the planet Sun. So all what we have to see is that how Sun is going to be transiting during this year and in which specific month it is actually forming some important yoga. So guys, after the mid of April, when your second house lord Sun is going to get exalted in your 10th house, that in itself is a very good indication. Second thing is that during that time as well, Mars, which becomes your like Yokarka planet, Mars is also going to be getting accentuated in your 8th house, and very soon during that period only it will also get conjunct with like the planet Saturn in your 8th house as well. So regarding that front, the month of April seems to be creating some very good yoga for you. This could be let's say for example, sudden unpredictable change of circumstances in your favor at your workplace, and if in your line of work, research, exploration, scientific pursuit is a very important thing, then also you can also get benefited in the month of April when your second house lord is going to be in such a good dignity, and overall the Yokarka planet and Saturn is going to be making a combination in your 8th house. After that guys, in the month of August, like after mid of August, when Sun is going to be very well placed in your second house, and Mars, your Yokarka planet, is going to be transiting from your 11th house. And just because you know this thing, during this year, Jupiter would have already transited to your 11th house. So I will repeat, in the month of August, your second house is going to be in its strongest dignity. Along with that, Jupiter would have already been transiting your 11th house, and your Yokarka planet Mars is going to be conjunct with it. So I would say that the month of August can also mark some very good financial or some sudden unpredictable financial gains as well. And even from the point of view of popularity, recognition, being considered for any award and all, the month of August will actually create some very good energy pertaining to the matters of your second house. Moving ahead guys, now when it comes down to your third house, where the major surprise gifts will be waiting for you during this year. Now guys, try to understand this thing. Ketu is already transiting in your third house. Now during this year, once Jupiter will transit to your 11th house, it will start giving its aspect to your Ketu being in the third house. Now guys, as you know that when it comes down to unraveling something which has been lying very dormant or deeply encrypted in your soul, so all of that potential is generally attached with the planet Ketu, which can unravel all of those dormant hidden talents of yours, which you might be carrying from this lifetime or might be from past so many lifetimes. And whenever Ketu establishes any connection with the planet Jupiter, this could be through conjunction, this could be specifically Jupiter giving its aspect to the planet Ketu, that tend to remain a very good time, very fortunate time. So the points which I have written pertaining to the matters of your third house, which tells about your initiatives, resources, support, communication, self-expression. So I have written over here that Ketu in third house will receive fifth aspect from Jupiter, which will unravel many unexplored talents, which will be followed by recognition, because Jupiter is giving its aspect but from the 11th house. In the month of March, now what we have to do is that we have to see some significant months when your third house lord is going to be forming some sort of Raj Yoga. So in the month of March, your third house lord Mercury is going to be transiting in the Aquarius, and that in itself means it is going to be getting conjunct with its good friend Saturn in your 8th house. So that means that the month of March could be very promising for people engaged in research or occult or anything to do with the scientific pursuit. After that, in the month of June, your third house lord is going to be transiting from the Taurus and Gemini. That means it is going to be transiting from your 11th house and from your 12th house. So 12th house is its own house, and in the 11th house it is going to be forming a connection with the transiting Jupiter over there. So the month of June can also remain very promising for recognition for the skills or talent which you possess. After that, guys, in the month of October, your third house lord Mercury is going to be transiting from the Virgo, which in itself means it is going to be very well placed in your third house, and then it will also move in your fourth house as well, which will manifest some very good unexplored talents. Moving ahead, guys, now when we reach your fourth house, which tells about your inner emotional state, which tells about peace, which tells about royal favors, which tells about your dealing with the public. So I would say that pertaining to the matters of your fourth house, time period till April is promising for domestic life related matters. That makes sense as well, because till April Jupiter is going to be transiting in your 10th house, giving it straight aspect to your 4th house. So time period till April is promising for domestic life related matters, which could be buying a house, vehicles, marriage and all. After that, when Jupiter will transit to your 11th house after or from May 1st, and your 4th house is going to be devoid of any aspect from the planet Jupiter. So now we have to see that how your 4th house lord in the transit is going to be behaving. Is it going to be making some kind of Raj Yogas and all? So in the month of March, your 4th house lord Venus is going to be getting conjunct with Saturn in your 8th house. So again, guys, for any of the concerns of research, or I would say that people who are planning to immigrate to any new land or change their residence, the month of March could be very promising for that. In the month of April, now here comes the catch. In the month of April, your 4th house lord Venus is going to be transiting in your 9th house. It is going to get exalted, and during this year it is going to be getting conjunct with Rahu over there as well. So 4th house in such a exalted state. So I would say, guys, that during that time a lot many people, like in the month of April, a lot many Cancer Lagna natives might get a chance to travel to a foreign land, or this could be related to exploring some different religion, different culture. But the good thing is that because of the conjunction of Venus and Rahu, that travel will be filled with lot of pleasure, amenities and lot of pampering and all. After that, guys, in the month of June, your 4th house lord is going to be transiting in the 11th house, getting conjunct with Jupiter. So 4th house lord being in the 11th house is going to be a very good sign, specifically people with political aspiration and all, or let's say for example all of those things which gives us happiness, or where we feel being rewarded, being acknowledged for our talents. That emotional fulfillment is going to be attached or will definitely be experienced in the month of the June. Moving ahead, guys, now when it comes down to the matters of your 5th house, which tells about progeny, which tells about your intellect, which tells about all those activities which gives us happiness and any professional transformation. So guys, in the matters of your 5th house, with dual aspects of the Jupiter and Saturn influencing this house. So guys, you know this thing, I have mentioned this thing at the beginning of this video. Whenever in the transit both planet Saturn and Jupiter aspect any specific house or any zodiac sign, they tend to remain strong chances and possibility to accomplish or attain some important things pertaining to the matters of that house. So during this year, once Jupiter will transit to the Taurus sign on May 1st, 2024. So both Jupiter and Saturn will start aspecting your Scorpio sign, which will fall in your 5th house. So that in itself means that with the dual aspect of Jupiter and Saturn influencing this house, extremely auspicious events could be anticipated post May. This could be like childbirth, return on investments, and supportive transformation in your career. Some of the timelines, guys. So we have to see that how your 5th house lord is going to be transiting. Is it going to be making some Raj Yoga in the transit in specific months in next year? So guys, in the month of March, your like 5th house lord is going to be exalted in your 7th house, which is a very good sign, because Mars for you guys becomes a Yokaraka planet. 7th house is the house of your commercial dealing, your public image. So that in itself means that your thought process will drive you in the right direction. Your artistic and creative talents can drive you towards awards, recognition, and popularity and all. And some important alliances can also form in the month of March. In the month of April, your 5th house lord is going to be getting conjunct with Saturn in your 8th house. So beyond doubt, guys, Mars and Saturn, and beyond doubt, guys, next year Mars and Saturn definitely are going to be in the center stage. 2024, you'll make a sum total, you'll get a universal number being ruled by the planet Saturn. And as per our Samvatsar lunar calendar calculation, Mars is actually going to have a strong edge. So I would say this thing that, let's say for example, if in any capacity scientific pursuit or immigration related concerns, adhyatma, spirituality, if that is getting applicable in your case, so I would say that the month of April, when your 5th house lord is going to be getting conjunct with your 7th and 8th house lord in the 8th house, can mark some important attainment or accomplishments for you. After that, guys, in the month of May, your 5th house lord and your 10th house lord is going to get conjunct with Rahu in the 9th house. So I would say that specifically you have to refrain from some impulsive actions in the month of May. A lot many Cancer Lagna natives will be driven towards some headstrong actions in the month of May. So over there, I would say that surrender and faith in the higher powers needs to be inculcated. Specifically to the matters of your 5th house. Now definitely, guys, like let's say for example, if you're a kind of person who has got very impulsive gambling related concerns, so then in the month of May you have to be careful. After that, guys, in the month of July and August, your 5th house lord, 10th house lord is going to be getting conjunct with Jupiter in your 11th house. Jupiter, which is your Bhagyasthana lord. So I would say that the months of July and August seems to be very, very promising. This could be for the childbirth. This could be that you are an artist and you are planning or scheduling any of the release of your created work. So the months of July and August seems to be very promising for you. Now guys, talking about your 6th house, which tells about your daily life, which tells about your health, which tells about your competitive spirit. So guys, in your case, Jupiter becomes your 6th lord and the 9th house lord. And as you can see that during this year, Jupiter will make a foray. It will transit from your 10th house to the 11th house. So I would say that till the for the first 4 months it is going to be transiting in your 10th house, and after that rest of the year it will transit in your 11th house. So again, guys, as you know this thing that 10th house, which is a house of the battleground, this is the house where we do our actions or we sow seeds and we reap the fruits of that from the 11th house. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that this year will take you from sowing to reaping in a single year. Improvement in health, liabilities, daily work environment, and success in competitive exams. So beyond doubt, guys, I'm not seeing your 6th house in any way vulnerable. So your 6th house lord and ninth house lord being in such a dignified state, so and with two planets aspecting your fifth house, I would say that you are going to be very blessed that if you are getting a chance to write any competitive exam during this year, and if you have got good yogas in your chart, you're running some favorable dasha, so chances of finding success or clearing those coveted exams is going to be very strong during this year. After that, guys, once we will reach your seventh house, so as you know that seventh house tells about all sort of alliances, your public image, your open enemies, commercial interest. So the points which I have written over here is that May 2024 onwards, stars will favor people seeking matrimonial alliances because of Jupiter's ninth aspect. Because guys, as you know that from May, once Jupiter will enter your 11th house, it will start giving its ninth aspect to your 7th house. So that is the only reason I mentioned this thing, that after May 2024 or like from May 2024, stars will favor people seeking matrimonial alliances because of Jupiter's ninth aspect. Deep unspoken bond with partners for many, capacity for complete image makeover for many. So guys, as you know this thing that if a planet is placed in its own sign, and when it comes down to Saturn, it is different. Saturn in itself is a significator or karaka of the 8th house as well. Saturn is transiting in your 8th house, but Saturn is transiting in its Mool Trikona sign only. That is the only reason I mentioned this thing, that with Saturn ruling your 7th house and 8th house, and 8th house tells about deeper unspoken emotions. It is actually a house of your psychology as well. So I would say this thing, that is the only reason I mentioned this thing, that during this year you will be able to form some unspoken deeper bond with your partners. And why I mentioned this thing, that capacity for complete image makeover. So again guys, as you can see this thing, that with Jupiter transiting in your 11th house and 7th house lord being transiting in a house of transformation, so if you are not satisfied, contented, like let's say for example you are a politician, you are in PR, or you are a cricketer or any of the socialite or celebrity, and you just want to give a complete makeover or transformation to your public image, so this year will give you a chance for that. After that guys, when we talk about the matters of the 8th house, which is a house of transformation, all sort of scandals, unearned income, all sort of research and exploration. So the points which I have mentioned over here for you is that the whole vibration of 2024 is governed by universal year 8. 2024, you add all the numbers, you will get the number 8, being ruled by the planet Saturn as per numerology. So the whole vibration of 2024 is governed by universal year 8 along with a strengthened Saturn in your 8th house, which will give a stronger and deeper intuitive understanding of life. A lot many people will be interested in the topics of life and death, along with rapid progress in occult, psychology and healing subjects. Saturn will definitely slow down the probability of unforeseen and unpredictable negative events affecting you. That is the only reason guys we say this thing, that if your 8th house is well guarded, planet is exalted over there, planet is placed in its own house, in own sign in the 8th house, then the tendency and possibility of negative events creeping out, catching you or surprising you, so all of that tend to remain very low. We tend to remain in complete command and control of any negative unpredictable events bothering us. So in that regard, I would say that I'm not seeing you guys falling vulnerable or prey to the negativity of the 8th house during this year. After that guys, when we talk about the 9th house, which is a house of optimism, faith, your luck, higher wisdom, learning, foreign travels. So the points which I have mentioned over here, as you can see that over here you will find the energy of the planet Jupiter in the form of the Pisces sign over here. So as per the dispositor theory, after May 2024, when your 9th lord will transit to 11th house, even Rahu from 9th house will start manifesting sudden good results. So again guys, you have Rahu transiting over here, but again as per the dispositor theory, Rahu also manifests results as per in which condition, in which houses the dispositor is traveling. So as you can see that I mentioned, that is the only reason I mentioned this thing, that When your ninth lord will transit to 11th house, even the Rahu from the ninth house will start manifesting sudden good results, which could manifest in the form of exotic travel, success in immigration, and foreign entities playing a supportive and significant role in your success. Rahu is a outcast. Rahu represents all those things which are foreign to you. So I would say that in any capacity, if that is getting applicable in your case, like in your line of work, you have to deal with lot many foreign national, you have to travel a lot, you have to experiment with new things. So if in your line of work all these engagements are getting applicable, then I would say that all these entities will play a very significant role in your success during this year. After that, guys, when we reach your 10th house, so definitely your 10th house, which tells about you dealing with the important people or all sort of like concerns of popularity, your professional engagements, endeavors and all. So just because during this year, the whole year, Saturn is going to be giving its third aspect to your 10th house, and third aspect generally is an aspect which enables or which asks a lot of hard work. So I would say this thing, that the points which I have mentioned over here, that Saturn's third aspect will demand a lot of hard work at your job. And definitely, guys, we have to see that how your 10th house lord planet Mars is going to be transiting. Is it going to be forming some Raj Yoga in the transit during the year as well? So in the month of March, your 10th house lord and your 5th house lord is going to be exalted in the 7th house. So we call it a Pad Prapti Yoga, attainment of higher position. So if you are eligible for any promotion and all, or any sort of public performances, the month of March will prove to be very supportive for you as per the external circumstances around you. After that, in the month of April, Mars is going to be conjunct with Saturn in your 8th house. So again, guys, 10th house lord being forming such a chaotic yoga in your 8th house, it will be good time for people who are professionally working in the domain of the 8th house, working as a surgeon, working as a psychologist, working as an astrologer. But definitely the month of April will mark some unpredictable sudden developments at your work front. And in the month of May, your 10th house lord and 5th house lord Mars is going to be conjunct with Rahu in the 9th. So during that time, there could be some sudden developments at your work front. There could be some inconveniences while being on travel, and if you have to or you are planning to file any of your immigration related documents, so in this month you have to be a little bit careful. After that, guys, in the month of July and August, your 5th house and 10th house lord is going to be conjunct with Jupiter in the 11th house. So I would say that the month of July and August seems to be very promising for some immediate quick gains and returns on all the hard work which you have been putting in. So for the recognition point of view, these 2 months seems to be very promising, will be very helpful for you. After that, guys, when we talk about the matters of the 11th house, which tells about the kind of group you socialize with, ideologies, philosophies you associate with, your friends or your elder brother, all sort of gains, popularity, success, recognition we see from the 11th house. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that post May 2024, like from May 2024 rather, I would say, when Jupiter, your 9th house lord, will transit to your 11th house, there will be a spike in your friend circle. You will progress because of your goodwill in the market, and luck will take you to the right places amongst the right people. So yes, guys, Jupiter's transit in the 11th house and the kind of role which it plays for you, definitely all these things are possible. And lastly, guys, when we talk about the 12th house, which tells about all the hidden energies, so the way I have studied the planetary transit in all areas of your chart, so I'm not seeing any vulnerability. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that no vulnerability or threat on the account of hidden forces. So whatsoever is going to be happening in your life in next year, you will be completely in command over it or consciously aware about whatever is happening. And definitely, guys, for popularity, recognition, deep diving in research, exploration, I would say next year has got lot in store for the Cancer Lagna natives. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For furthermore updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. धन्यवाद.